working with clients like Volvo and Fidelity to help them build their next generation of media and marketing platforms. A platform, in the technical definition, is a series of hardware, software, and content that can be put together to engage users and to help brands find greater economic value in their relationships.
And how has sort of that platform concept evolved over the past year? So what's different
That's
and
an
new about
excellent
it?
question. I think we have arrived at a comfort level with technology in the marketing community. That platform is used not only to speak about the way we engage consumers, but it's also used to speak about the way we select technologies, the way we talk about sections of our business, the way we talk about our products.
Can you give me sort of some trends that you're seeing both in your own work and the case studies that, you know, things people are doing or were doing in 2011 versus 2010, and then sort of your projections
Sure.
of what do you think will be big and people will focus on in 2012?
Sure. I think there was a good amount of experimentation with social media in 2011 that wasn't present in the work that I saw in 2010, particularly in categories like CPG, as well as in financial services, and that was reflected in some of the cases that I saw today. I think we've passed the point of experimentation, and we've arrived at the point where social marketing is table stakes for any brand interested in shifting consumer preference and being involved in conversation and culture. So to be effective, you have to just know that you're planning for that in 2012 and beyond. I think what's new and what's different that we're not seeing a lot of is mobile. And I am surprised by the absence of even limited mobile tests and experiments within the work that I'm seeing today, given how many phones I can count out in the room right now.
On mobile, what do you think people should be doing? I mean, mobile is such a broad thing. It's, you know, making your website mobile optimized. It's mobile commerce. It's location-based
Yep.
services. So, what within mobile excites you? And
Well, I'll tell you what I tell all clients. I have clients in various categories, and I've given them a 5-point plan every single time for what they should be doing to address mobile. The first thing is mobile strategy is dead, content is king. Have a good content strategy in mobile. There's 5 things to do with that. Number 1, make your content discoverable, make it readable, make it relevant, useful, and meaningful. Make it sociable, and make it actionable. And if you can accomplish those 5 things with your brand content on a small screen device, you've got a home run in 2012.
so, if you apply that to a brand like Volvo, what kind of content is Volvo producing, or do you want them to be producing and sort of pushing out through these platforms?
Right, that's a really great question. If I take one of our clients as an example, I want them to be putting their product information together in a way that's easily reachable, easily findable, easily locatable. I want them to use that product information to get to a dealer. I want them to show off their products in really compelling visual, meaningful ways that have always been useful for selling cars, but adapting it to small screen. I want there to be a call to action. I want them to be able to take from that small screen the opportunity to get to a lead, to a dealer. And I want them to provide content that allows consumers to express their passion for the brand and share that with other people who are in their address books.
So, if you want a brand like Volvo to allocate more marketing dollars to sort of content creation and content marketing, where do you want to pull budget from?
Ha,
Something has to be
excellent
axed,
question.
right? It's like our U.S. government. Some programs need to be axed.
That's exactly right. I'd like to see less money put into paper-based communication. And I don't mean print advertising. I mean the dealer brochures. I mean the contracts and the lease paperwork. I mean the customer service bills that we all don't want to receive. Adding those services up and adding the cost of those fulfillment of that paperwork up actually can go a long way in mobile communication.
So actually, what you're saying is because those aren't marketing activities. It's more like
Well, we live in
be more efficient with your invoicing and billing, and the money you free up, you could.
we live in a world where every communication is a marketing communication. I'm saying the ones that are service driven essentially are actually opportunities to be more creative with and to put towards other types of media.
Yeah. Can you give an example of, especially in the campaigns you're reading upstairs and maybe drawing your own experience, but it's like you start at point A, you want to get to point B in a campaign, and these people are all talking about like we hit our numbers, but a lot of times it's not just a nice, smooth, easy path. Like you face obstacles and challenges that bring you off course, and maybe you have to sort of
Sure.
course correct a little bit. So can you give an example of, it's not all roses. Sometimes the shit hits the fan, and you got to make adjustments. And here's an example in my experience.
I don't know, I deal with that every day. Sure. You're right. I mean, a case presents the best work you've done and the best case scenario. And of course, there are hiccups that we all experience in getting to that work that's effective and that's right. In my mind, I'm thinking of some work our family of agencies did for Fidelity that we know is the Green Line. And the Green Line really took a truth about the Fidelity brand and took a truth about the desire on the part of American investors to weather the storm with someone they trust, and visualized it in such a way that the Green Line became a ubiquitous part of culture. Now, getting there wasn't easy. You don't just draw a green line on every billboard. You don't put it at airports. You don't actually draw a green line on display advertising. You don't necessarily even have a creative story that's just about green lines. And that the experience of selling that through and bringing that together cohesively and showing people the proof that it was working met with lots of different skeptics, lots of different conversations where people doubted, the effectiveness of it. And the proof is that at other award shows, actually, it took home gold. So you have to get through the hurdles and the downs to actually be able to have great work that you can write about.
Can you talk? This is the last question, but can you talk about if a company like Volvo is going to create more content? Can you talk about sort of the mix of features and benefits type content, and maybe content that maybe gets more to the human essence of the type of person you're trying to reach? So emotional content around people who have Volvo, safety, families, like.
Well, the first thing is that actually we've got an exciting brand story to tell about Volvo that hasn't been told. You know a lot about safety, you know a lot about Swedish history. We've got some news for the driver communities out there that's going to help make Volvo relevant to a far larger audience than they've seen in the past. The trick is actually to stick on that positioning and to stick on that kind of content and find stories both in our products, but more importantly in user communities that actually relate to that positioning. So people feel that they can identify with the brand by telling their stories that are on topic, sharing their stories with people in their communities as a mechanism of referring Volvo to others and showing their love and showing their interest in the brand. Giving product information that's told against that particular positioning in a way so that people can refer people into the brand. And I think those are some clues as to the type of content and the strategy for content that we think is right for a brand looking to have a more robust set of assets in the digital space.
Actually, I lied. That wasn't the last question. I'm thinking about like social platforms. I mean, obviously Facebook, but can you talk about, are you recommending the Volvo to sort of dabble in things like Tumblr or Pinterest?
Well, they already do, yeah. Social's continuing to expand as a part of the marketing arsenal. Do you go with one partner, or do you spread your eggs? Yeah, you spread your eggs. We're seeing in our conversations a significant amount of social fragmentation in traffic. And so I was very surprised when I looked at the ComScore numbers just yesterday to see the as I call it, the little engine that could, Pinterest, crack the top 10 for traffic. Believe it or not, MySpace is still a relevant social network. They're in the top 10 as well. They're actually larger than Google Plus still. So when we're looking at social networks and communities, we're looking at where people are spending time and what they're doing when they're spending time there. And so Facebook, while it is an important player, because your social life goes with you wherever you are on Facebook, it's not the only player out there.